right, let's go. How are you doing? How are you doing today?
Good, good.
Yeah.
How are you, Edward?
Uh, it is going, it is going. Sometimes, I feel, lost. I feel inadequate. I don't feel good enough about myself. Um, and sometimes I feel like I'm on top of the world. And I guess that's how it goes every time, right?
So it's like ups and downs
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah, I get that. I get that too. Sometimes it's like everything goes your way. Even like the small things, like small talk. You run into people and it's just like the vibe is really good. But then other times I don't know, they look at you like, is this guy okay or what? But yeah, I think I know what you mean. So yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Part of the journey is like the ups and
yeah,
downs.
it is part of the journey. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you was that during
Yeah.
this self-improvement journey, what are some of the biggest obstacles that you find that you're facing right now? What are some of the uncertainties that you faced and overcome?
Right now or that were in the past.
Um, in the past or right now, anything you want to share?
Hmm. For self-improvement, I would say well, okay, so there's like many ways I can answer that, but I'll just use the example of like the gym. Okay, so when I think of like self-improvement in my life, I think of like the gym. That's like the one of the biggest things that I focus on. And for me, one of the challenges was um, I didn't like really have the self-belief that I could actually put on weight. Like I always used to tell myself, oh, I'm an ectomorph and oh, I'm meant to be skinny and like I can't put on weight. And like I was always around like 130 to like 145 in weight. And then when I got to 145, it felt like I hit this ceiling that, yeah, no matter how much I eat or work out, I can't like break this past this ceiling. But um, so I guess the obstacle there was I just I guess I fell into like the th in my thoughts that I was like, yeah, I had like this self-limiting belief, and then I was like, one day I was just like, fuck this, I'm gonna like add 10 pounds to my squat, and if I can't get it, then I'll fail. But if I do, then next workout I'm gonna add 5 more pounds, um and then so on and so on. And dude, like that was like a huge improvement. Like right away, I was like, okay. And then I just started lifting more and eating more. And then, yeah, I broke past the 145 ceiling. I'm at like 155 now. So it's like there's like obstacles in really anything that you do, but that's just one thing that comes to mind. But I want to turn it to you as well. Like, what's the same question? If I could ask you, what what was a challenge in the past for you? And because everyone goes through challenges, and you have to, as a man, I guess the big thing is you have to overcome an obstacle. So what can you think of was like an obstacle for you that you overcame? And it doesn't have to be like some grand thing. It can be, but or it could be something like, yeah, this, and then kind of like how it was for the gym for me. But I'd be curious to hear your thoughts.
Honestly, your story is pretty inspiring. It's hard to put on weight nowadays. I mean, for people like us, and
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
like we talked last time, it takes persistence, and then it's not something easy to do, right? And you continue on your journey. I feel like
True.
that's like to be taken with a lot of pride, right?
Yeah, you're working out as well these days, right?
I am. I am.
What's your like
So
fitness goal?
my fitness goal is 185 pounds, but I'm
Ooh,
nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. Nowhere near that.
185 pounds. Okay. Have you like weighed yourself recently or
I did. I'm at 165 right now.
okay,
Yeah,
that's
not
pretty
90
good.
pounds.
Not what, 90 pounds?
Not 90 pounds.
Mm,
But
not 90. Okay.
so one of the few challenges I face is that I find myself I want to improve to be a man that I want to be. I would imagine and really you can call it fantasize or just try to think of a what is the figure of a man supposed to be like? What my father was like, or what what how I imagine him to be like, right? And
Okay.
then
Okay.
I would try to be that myself, you know. Did he drink
Okay.
a lot? Did he smoke a lot? Did he party a lot? Did he? And he did none of that, right? He did none of that. He was
Hmm.
very reasonable, and he was he had a lot of abstinence from these outside temptations.
Yes.
And then it's
This
just
is your dad?
specifically my father, yes.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
And I just find myself, you know, lacking in that field. I'm not as persistent, and I find that lust and temptations gets to me very easily, right? And then guilt is a big part on your self improvement journey. Like, let's say you missed a day, let's say you relapsed on NoFap, let's say
Hmm.
you missed a day of training, or today you didn't pray, you didn't meditate, and you kind of wasted your day playing
Yeah.
games, watching a movie, or hanging out with friends, or like what I did last night. Today I woke up, I'm like, dude, I really regret going to that. I could have slept early, I could have woke up early, I could have done so much more. Right?
Yeah.
And I don't, I find guilt to be good. It's good that you have remorse, you pray for forgiveness, but
Hmm.
if it's done to you even more, then that's just really bad. Like if you're on guilt so much that you can't move forward, you can't bounce yourself back, then what's the point of having guilt? It should be,
Yeah.
this emotion should give you more power to seek for strength and just whatever goal you want to achieve in your self improvement journey,
No.
right? And it's just hard to find the balance nowadays. So yeah, but
Okay.
talking with a brother like you, it helps. Talking with a friend, it helps. Yeah, that find it
Yeah. It's important.
very
It's
helpful.
actually a really good point that you bring up. Um, the whole thing about like guilt with self-improvement. Um, so yeah, that can be like considered the dangerous part of like self-improvement is like, okay, let's say you set this goal that, okay, I'm gonna wake up at 6 a.m. every day. Or not even, okay, so 5 a.m. Okay. Let's say that's your goal. So you want to wake up at 5. Like right now you're waking up at like 8. Hypothetically, I'm not saying that's you, but let's say someone wants to do self-improvement and they say, I want a morning routine, I want to wake up early. And yeah, it's like that's a good goal to have, but the dangerous part is like when you, let's say you miss a day where you don't wake up, like, you know, um, shit happens, or like you just don't feel like it. Let's say like your alarm goes off at 5 and you're like, fuck this, I'm gonna just sleep in like 5 more minutes and it turns into like, oh shit, there's 5 minutes till 8. Um,
Yeah,
and then it's like, how do you deal with, as a man, how do you psychologically deal with that failure? Like, you have this guilt, like, fuck, am I not good enough? Like, and that's like a pretty dangerous part of um,
that is so true.
self-improvement. So, and
I
actually, I
love that.
dealt with that as well, like many
Yeah,
times, like even my gym journey. I would work out really, really intensely for the weekdays because it's like the weekday and I have to be up anyways for work. Like I can't just skip work, so I have to be up and moving around for work. So it's easy in a sense during the weekdays, like Monday to Friday. But as soon as the weekend comes around and you don't have that obligation to like be up at a specific time, that's kind of like when self-improvement, for me at least, went on hard mode because I would have to psychologically make those decisions that, okay, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna catch all my meals, I'm gonna work out. And dude, there was so many weekends where like Saturday and Sunday I would just skip because it's like, I don't have to be out of my room. I don't have to be up and around, and I'd just be like a lazy POS. And then I would feel guilty about it, like because in your mind you're like, well, Mr. Self-Improvement, you wanted to be better. Now look who the hell can't even go on and work out and stuff. So yeah, that's actually a solid point you bring up.
Yeah. And I want to know, how do you combat with that guilt? Because I'm not like, I haven't really fully dove to a self-improvement journey, and which I do want to now. And then, I go and focus on myself and completely. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, it's really tough, but from what I've watched videos on how to deal with this, one thing that kind of stood out to me from one guy was like, um, and it's kind of tough to hear this, but that's what worked for me, is to not really set your goals as extreme. So instead of like waking up from say 8 every day to 5, which is extreme, find like a middle ground. Um, wake up like half an hour early and then go next week a half hour earlier and go like then and eventually work your way. So like kind of like have small successes and build up momentum in your life first. That was something that actually worked for me a lot. It was like, okay, fine, if I can't work out all 7 days, I'll work out at least Saturday or at least Sunday, but I won't miss both days. So that kind of worked for me. And then yeah, that was pretty big.
Mm.
I'm trying to think what else. No, actually, that was the main thing. Like set small goals and don't go so extreme.
Hmm.
It's like, and it's the same thing with like, let's say cold showers. Okay, that's like a huge thing associated with NoFap is like cold showers. You've heard of that too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so people say don't turn the faucet all the way to the coldest setting. Like work your way from like warm to like let your body adjust, and then by the end of the shower you're like fully cold water, but your body had time to kind of um adjust to it. So yeah, that's kind of like how I look at how to deal with it. It's not perfect, but it's kind of
Hmm.
what worked for me. What about you?
I haven't really figured it out. That's why I asked you. You know, I
Yeah,
I figure, a lot of these negative emotions, they haunt me. They do. Um, and
yeah,
another thing I wanted to ask was about strength, and how to combat. Let's say I have negative emotions. You know how in NoFap, right? For the first 3 weeks, maybe like going into week three. I'm on my fourth week right now, going into week three.
wow, that's huge.
I'm on
Okay.
my fourth week. But when you go into week three, you feel really good, right?
Hmm.
You're like, oh my God, I'm on top of the world. Everything's fine. I'm
Yeah.
good. Like everything's chill. Everything's chilling. Life is good. Life is easy. But,
Hmm.
you know, because yesterday I had somewhat of a drawback, a setback. I didn't relapse or anything, but
Sick.
like we talked about, and then negative emotions start flooding me. Guilt, loneliness. Um, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say anxiety and sadness that I haven't really thought of yet, but like loneliness, guilt, um, even shame, just
Yeah.
emotions like that. How do you have the strength to, and what kind of mentality do you need to have to combat that kind of, loneliness or, shame?
Yeah, that's like a very deep question that you asked, but um yeah, no, I've definitely, yeah, that's, I think especially it's very like based on circumstances, because some people will do like NoFap and say like, oh yeah, my week 4 journey was like I felt like Superman, whereas others will be like, no, I just felt like the same as week 1 on week 4. But if you look like the guy who felt like on top of the world at week 4, um, and you look at like his social life, like he just has like a lot of friends to always talk to, and whereas like the guy who's like, no, week 1 felt the same as week 4 is like, well, in his circumstance, he, like he maybe he just doesn't have that many people to socialize with, so he can't really put that energy to use somewhere. Because when you think of like NoFap at its core, it's just you're preserving the energy instead of like putting it towards relapsing or watching content you shouldn't be. You're instead using that same energy on NoFap to, towards something creative, or towards like strength training in the gym, getting really, really like strong lifts in. Or it could be like a spiritual thing, like having better meditation sessions and being like really present and stuff with your breath. But um, or it could even be like the social thing where it's like you're, because you're on NoFap, it's like you have to like um get get that energy out somehow. So you do it through like social interactions where you're just way more charismatic than usual. And so, but it's honestly really tough to, there's no like one solution to it. It's just based off circumstances. Um, and that happened to me as well. Like there were parts in my journey where when I was on like a 4 week streak, but I felt like shit because I just wasn't like, um, I just didn't have that many social interactions, and I didn't really put myself out there.
Right.
Like even during COVID, for example, like that's one time I can think when everybody was in like quarantine, and it's like, yeah, you could do a NoFap streak, but it's like you won't really get far there because it has to be like coupled with these like social interactions, and then just being genuine and like present all the time.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's tough though.
Yeah. Um, well, thank you so much for sharing, I know we
Yeah.
have these, I feel like the energy today is is so low compared to the last one we did, Like the
Yeah.
last one we were like
Yeah,
so
yeah.
hyped. Everyone's like, yeah, 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 dude. Are we gonna let's do a podcast, it's gonna be cool, we're gonna talk about self-improvement. And then, a week later we're just like, yeah, well, how you sad and lonely. Yeah, just
Yeah. Yeah.
a bunch of
Really, you
pathetic.
think the first episode we recorded was like better?
I would it's
Shit.
not better because
It's
it
like,
it doesn't exist.
yeah, well, yeah.
You can't compare it with nothing. Everything is better than nothing.
Yeah,
you
true.
know, for those that don't know, we filmed something and then it disappeared. Okay, yeah, it didn't work.
True.
So now we're doing another one. So we just want to
Yeah.
film our journey on self improvement,
Yeah. No,
the
absolutely.
growth. Right.
And then one thing as well. So for me, like, just going back to that thing of like the on the NoFap topic, if I'm on like there's been times where I was on like a 4 or 5 week streak, And dude, if I felt like that, like I was getting nowhere and I was shit, and I was like, man, I feel like worse. That's like sometimes I'd feel worse than week one. And that's like, that's not how it's supposed to be. Then I would, in those cases, I've even tested with purposely losing my streak. So to almost get like a reset and then like be like, okay, now I'm actually gonna take this serious and I'm gonna not like just be a hobbit in my room doing no fap. Like that won't really get you far. So if you make like a conscious decision to, okay, I'm gonna reset my streak. I've reaped the benefits. I've reaped as much benefits and I'm not really getting anywhere. It's like sometimes you kind of have to go low so you can like get high, you know? It's
True.
kind of like yeah, it's like because let's say especially on those like 4 or 5 week streaks,
Mm-hmm.
like you might have been like here at week one and then on week four you're like here. So you notice how it's like a small improvement.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to like purposely go low so that the next week four streak can be like way up here. You're like, oh shit, like the momentum is so much. It's
Yeah.
kind of like an interesting thing to test out.
And a lot of people think that talking about like no fap is like inappropriate because it's like masturbation, but like
Well,
men would know that. Like they fall into men.
yeah,
We're built that way. We fall into lust so easily, and every guy probably does it. Uh, but it's good that we're talking about abstinence from this sin. So
yeah, it's good that we can use terms like that and not like the scientific terms for it. It's better to use like the like call it nofap or like
yeah,
relapse, like like not many people know what these terms mean, but if you call it like by its scientific name, they'll be like, "Oh, you're
for
so weird."
attention.
Like it's like no, like I'm on the path to greatness here. Like get with the
Are you
times.
on sperm retention or
Yeah. Semen retention. Yeah.
semen retention? Are you on orgasm control? I'm just I don't know.
Yeah. It's like pest control, but for it's like get
Yo,
the
pest
pest out
control.
of your
Yo,
life. Get the pest out of your life, man.
yeah.
Maybe that
Yo,
should
it's
be the
for
name
real. For
of
real.
this
Pest out,
podcast.
you get that pest
Pest
out of your life,
control
bro.
for your life.
Yeah, and it's good for you. It's only good for you. Um, oh,
Totally.
by the way, we're running out of time here.
No way. How
We
much?
only
Oh, eight
got we only
minutes. Oh,
got
we
we
got
got
time.
we got 8 minutes left.
And we could do like another one after this too.
Yeah,
We could just
yeah.
reset it. But
I'll
okay,
just
so
yeah.
talked about no fab.
And then so no fat, that's very good. And then a lot of things, honestly, honest opinion, right? I think a lot of the internet gurus, such as Andrew Tate, like I know he might inspire many people, and a lot of people would follow Instagram
Mhm,
like celebrities. But I feel
mhm.
like it's just such a big wave now. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to do this and that. Like I'm just thinking, like,
Mhm.
do you really want to be rich, or do you see him rich and you just want to be like him, right? Do you really know what's going on? Like, why don't you want to be happy? Why don't you want to be uh why do you want to be someone else? And I just feel like, everybody's like get rich quick scheme. They talking about business, and so that everybody's doing it. Talk about drop shipping, so everybody's doing it, and then
Mhm.
it just
Mhm.
making it saturated, and it even puts you into unnecessary risk, right? So I feel like if you
Mhm.
have a full-time job, just work at your full-time job and just try to improve yourself a bit by bit, right? Everybody hates their jobs once in a while or don't like it. It's fine. You're not gonna
Mhm.
die. You got at least it pays off your bills. If you have zero money and you're like, I'm gonna start a business, I'm gonna be super rich, and
Yeah.
you're like but I don't have a job and I'm never gonna work like I'm never gonna get a job to work. But bro, you
Yeah,
have to make a living first before
exactly, exactly.
you talk about or make any of those goals your final destination here.
Yeah.
You have to get yourself somewhere. Like if you're not even paying off your bill and you're in a crap load of debt, right? And
Hmm.
you're not working, like, I'm not working at McDonald's, and you're not working anywhere else. You have to work in McDonald's.
Exactly.
You gotta
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
And I feel like that can ruin lives somehow. Internet grew and swiping internet content, swiping um Instagram reel is not gonna
Yeah.
get you rich. Like get off of that. Such I personally fall into the hole a lot. So yeah. And
Yeah.
uh something I want to share was almost out of time here.
Oh, we got five
Um
minutes.
5 minutes, yeah. So there was this girl I met online. Okay.
Hmm.
She's super nice. She's super nice. She's religious. I really like her.
Hmm.
Um, she told me about digital fasting. I was telling her about fasting. We're talking about fasting, and she's like, "It's not the
Oh
only way
yeah.
to fast; it's digital fasting." And so instead of like food fasting, you can also do a digital fast, right? You can do like
Hmm.
tech fast or
Yeah.
anything that you really want to do, or game fast, or
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, that's huge.
it just if you fast a digital fasting, I feel like people should try to get on because rarely people are doing
Yeah.
that. Even me and my grandparents would just go scroll on TikTok all day.
Wait, what?
And
Your grandparents scroll on
yeah,
TikTok?
yeah,
Really?
all of them.
Damn,
The only thing they do, they're like retired. They should be happy. Nope, they're just on TikTok
that's sick.
all the way from like you're a 5 year old or 85-year old. Same thing.
Yeah.
Just so I wouldn't say it's sad, but just like, huh, you
Uh-huh.
could be doing something else. You could be, you know, doing your hobby, painting or anything.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
nope, nope, no attention for that. I'm just going to go on TikTok.
Yeah, no, it's interesting you bring up digital fast. I'll share like a quick story on that. So a few years ago, actually it was during COVID, so like 2020, right when COVID began, like March, like think like peak COVID when it began, 2020, March. And dude, I had like the iPhone 8 at the time, and
Mm.
on it I had the 8 ball pool game. Okay. And
Yeah.
dude, I used to like spam this game. I was like actually really good, and I used to play the high stakes tournaments. It was insane. I was addicted. But basically, like one time, I was like so invested in it, and I was like about to win this like $1 billion tournament for like fake 8 ball pool money, but it was
Mhm.
like a massive tournament. But I missed the shot by like literally a millimeter, and then the other guy just won the whole thing because he was like super good too. But then I like raged, and then I was like, fuck. And I think like in the process, my phone broke. And so basically what I'm getting at is, yeah. So what I'm getting at is I was without a phone for like 2 weeks. And that was like my digital fast. Kind of forced, but dude, it was like the best time of like COVID for me was when I didn't have my phone
Wow.
because I was like during COVID quarantines, it was like wake up first thing, like phone, scroll, scroll, scroll for like 2, 3 hours. Like, dude, it was insane. Like sometimes 4 hours. Um, and actually, we still have 2 minutes. I'll share this one like really quick screenshot here, but it's basically like people don't believe me when I say this, but look, this is Monday, August 22, and
What
look,
is that?
that's my screen time.
August 20th. You
This is
you
during
spent
COVID.
what? How's that
For
possible?
23 hours straight on my phone. Like, dude, I
How
wouldn't
is that
sleep.
possible, dude?
Yeah, I know.
Bro, how would you not sleep?
I know, dude, I wouldn't because I was fucking addicted to my phone.
Dude.
Yeah, dude. And that was one day. here's like another day though, where it was like 22 hours. I'll show you here.
Yo, that's great. How does it feel?
Yeah, look, and then
Okay.
here's like August 27th,
Oh my,
22 hours. Look, I'd spend like all day on YouTube, Instagram, chess, like fuck, I was addicted. Here's like the 17th of
oh my God,
August.
oh
See,
my,
these are different dates, dude. It's like I'm not like making
dude.
this shit out. I was
Oh my God.
addicted. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Um,
Oh
so
my God.
I've got like extreme, like this is extreme examples I've gone through. It's not just like nothing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway, that's awesome. It was an awesome story. It's inspiring. We have to end the video here because we have no more time. It's gonna be
Yeah.
cool video because people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, 20, 20
Yeah.
hours."
21. Dude, if anyone
Oh
out there can beat that, then like send us a DM or a comment.
yeah, it's world record, man. I feel like you deserve a trophy.
Yeah. Damn.
Anyway, peace.
Okay, see you guys.